Hi BSIT 1B and especially to Mr. Ijar. We are here to tackle about physical activity recommendations and guidelines. So first, what comes up to your mind about physical activity? Or who among you here knows about physical activity? So let's find out. So here I have the key concepts of our report. So what is physical activity? So next is recommendations, guidelines, definitions and terminology, backgrounds, fitness and health. Objectives: to know the importance of physical activities. Next, to introduce important concepts and terms regarding physical activity and physical fitness. Next, by applying good ideas about fitness. And to describe the 4 important components of physical activity. To know the difference between health-related and performance of physical fitness. The WHO or World Health Organization's globally recommendations on physical activity for health and the guidelines on physical activity sedentary behavior under 5 years of age. I have here the definition. Physical activity is defined as body movement produced by muscle action that increases energy expenditure. So from the word body movement, it means that it should have a mind. So mind and body is always been partnered. It is an encompassing term that includes physical exercise. So what is exercise, guys? It refers to all movement, including during leisure time, transporting to get from another places, or as part of a person's work. So that is exercise. So next is physical exercise. It's a more specific term and implies planned structure, a repetitive and purposeful physical activity, often with the goal of improving or maintaining one's physical fitness. Next is physical fitness. It's a physiological state of well-being that provides foundation for the task of daily living, a degree of protection against chronic disease, and a basis for participation in sport. In essence, physical fitness describes a set of attributes relating to how well one performs physical activity. Next is health. So health is very important to us. So health is a reflection of one's overall physical, mental, and social well-being. It is much more than simply an absence of disease. Health, as we all know, is a characteristic that is not stable in time and can vary along a continuum from near death. So I have here, guys, the frequency, intensity, time, type, and other important training principles, just like overload and progression. So first, frequency, or it should called how often. The amount of times that one engages in physical activity, or often expressed as number of times per week. Next is intensity, or how hard. How strenuous is the physical activity, often described as light, moderate, and vigorous. So in time, or should called how long, the duration of physical activity session. And next is the type, the specific mode of exercise in which one engages. For example, running, swimming, biking, and etc. And other important training principles are overload and progression. So in overload, refers to the load or amount of resistance of each exercise, providing a greater stress or load on the body than it is normally accustomed to in order to increase fitness. And lastly, the progression. is the way in which an individual should increase overload in order to stimulate continuous increased fitness. Frequency, intensity or time, or a combination of three components.
Methods of physical activity. Three forms of physical activity: light intensity, moderate, and vigorous intensity. In light intensity, a person who is always active at light intensity level should be able to carry a normal conversation while doing the activity. So, for examples that you can still talk or sing while doing the activity. Example for this, easy walking or cleaning. Next is moderate intensity. One who is active at a moderate intensity level should be able to carry a conversation but with some difficulty in breathing. For example, you can still talk or sing but you are having a difficulty in breathing. Example for this is brisk walking, biking, and dancing. Third and last one is the vigorous intensity. If a person becomes too out of breath to carry a conversation. So, if you are doing an activity and you can't talk or anything, means you are at vigorous intensity level. So, let's proceed to different components of physical activity. There are many different types of physical activity that develop different aspects of physical fitness. First one is activities involving cardiovascular or aerobic work, activities involving strength and muscular endurance, activities involving flexibility and involving coordinations. In cardiovascular aerobic activities, it is considered as vigorous intensity level because this activity requires our body to transport oxygen using heart and lungs. It also increases heart rates and respiration, raises oxygen and blood flow throughout the body. Examples of these activities such as walking, jogging, running, dancing, swimming, stair climbing, hiking on a hill, and so on. Next is muscular strength and endurance activity. This activity may build and strengthen our bones and muscles through lifting weights, heavy gardening, push-ups, sit-ups, and squats. Next is flexible activities, also called range motion of exercise or plain stretching that keeps our muscles elastic and our joint moving freely. In this activity, you can only feel stretching, never pain. Next is health-related and physical fitness. In particular, good health-related fitness is related to lower rates of diseases, better sleep quality, our mood, and quality of life. On the other hand, physical fitness is the ability of your body systems to work together efficiently to allow you to be healthy and perform activities of daily living.
Recommendations, guidelines.
Recommendation and guidelines. Sedentary benefits and risk. According to the World Health Organization, regular physical activities such as walking, cycling, wheeling, doing sports or active recreation provide significant benefits for health. Some physical activity is better than doing none. By becoming active throughout the day in a relatively simple way, people can change their recommended activity levels. Physical activity is the one leading risk factor for non-communicable disease mortality. People who are insufficiently active have 20% to 30% increase of death compared to people who are sufficiently active. So, kinahanglan man gid no nga mo-work atong lawas bisan pa sa ginagmay nga paagi. Kining gagmay nga paagi kay dako ni siya og impact sa atong lawas. So, no, ang mga tao nga wala kayo nag-exercise dako kaayo og tsansa nga naay sakit nga makamatay gyud kaysa sa mga tao nga hilig mag-exercise. So base sa kong natala, 20 to 30% ang risk sa death kumpara sa wala nag-exercise sa nag-exercise. So, regular activities can improve muscular and cardiorespiratory fitness. So, kani siya ang ato ang mga muscles og ang ato ang lungs kay dili maluya kung naa ka himuon nga certain nga exercise and activities. Improve bone and functional health. So, makapalig-on siya sa atong bukog o sa tibok na ang atong lawas. Reduce risk of hypertension, coronary heart disease, stroke, diabetes, various type of cancer such as breast cancer and colon cancer, and also depression. So, malayo jud ta sa sakit kung usa ka active person. Sa ako pang gitabi nga mga sakit, delikado jud no, lahos liga patay jud no. And reduce the risk of falls as well as hip vertebral fractures and help maintain a healthy body weight. So, ang ato ang hip vertebral fractures, ato mga kabukugan o bone, kay lig-on siya o maka-maintain ka sa imuhang healthy body weight, dili ka apyog, di ka luya nga pagkatao ba, laban ba.
How much of physical activity is recommended? So in this part, guys, it talks about how age should start physical activity.
WHO guidelines and recommendation provide details for different age group and specific population group on how much physical activity is needed for good health. WHO recommends for children under 5 years of age and a 24-hour day, and infants less than 1 year should be physical active several times a day in variety of ways, particularly through interactive floor-based play. More is better position tummy time, spread throughout the day while awake. Not be restrained for more than 1 hour at a time. Example, prone, strollers, high chairs, or strapped on the caregiver's back. Screen time is recommended. When sedentary, engaging in reading and storytelling with caregiver is encouraged, and have 14 to 17 hours for 0 to 3 months of age, or 12 to 16 hours for 4 to 11 months of age of good quality sleep, including naps. In 24-hour day, children 1 to 2 years of age should spend at least 180 minutes in a variety of type of physical activities at any intensity, including moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity. Spread throughout the day. More is better. Not be restrained for more than 1 hour at a time. Example, prom, strollers, high chairs, or strapped on the caregiver's back, or sit for extended period of time. For 1-year-old, sedentary screen such as watching TV or video, playing computer. In 24-hour day, children 3 to 4 years of age should spend at least 180 minutes in variety of types of physical activities at any intensity, of which at least 60 minutes is moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity. Spread throughout the day. More is better. Not be restrained for more than 1 hour at a time. Example, prom, strollers, or sit for extended period of time. Sedentary screen time should be no more than 1 hour. Less is better. When sedentary, engage in reading and storytelling with a caregiver is encouraged, and have 10 to 13 hours of good quality sleep, which many regular sleep and wake up types.
World Health Organization guidelines on physical activity, sedentary behavior, and sleep for children under 5 years of age. Children and adolescents aged 5 to 17 years should not do at least an average of 60 per day of moderate to vigorous intensity, mostly aerobic physical activities across the week. Should incorporate vigorous intensity aerobic activities as well as those strengthening muscles and bone at least 3 days a week. Should limit amount of time spent being sedentary, particularly the amount of recreational screen time. World Health Organization cares for everyone, pregnant and postpartum women. All pregnant and postpartum women without contraindication should do at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic physical activity throughout the week. Incorporate a variety of aerobic and muscle strengthening activities. Should limit the amount of time spent being sedentary, replacing sedentary time with physical activity of any intensity, including light intensity, provide health benefits. People living with chronic condition, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, HIV, and cancer survivors should do at least 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic physical activity, or at least 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic physical activity, or an equivalent combination of moderate and vigorous intensity activity throughout the week. Should also do muscle strengthening activities at moderate or greater intensity that involve all major muscles group on 2 or more days a week, as this provide additional health benefits. As part of their weekly physical activity, older adults should do varied multi-component physical activity that emphasizes functional balance and strength training at moderate or greater intensity on 3 or more days a week to enhance functional capacity and to prevent falls.